All right, guys, sit down, relax, grab some food, just vibe out, and let's break down this rewind hardpoint between LA Thieves and Atlanta FaZe. The best hardpoint of the year so far, even though it's just opening weekend, but this is by far the best hardpoint. So much to talk about that I'm playing most of this video in half speed, going through everything. I highly recommend watching this video and then going back and watching it in full speed with the commentators and everything. And after learning everything you learned from this video, you're going to be like, holy shit. And then you're going to go back and watch it. It's going to be like, wow. We're going to try to break down as much as possible. No notes. Just watched it about 2 times. All the notes are up here. Playing it slow because there's a lot that happens in this map. There's a lot of big gunfight wins. And a lot of that comes down to this is just what you get when you're playing at the very top level, at the highest level. Sometimes it comes down to a lot of big gunfights. And first, we're going to start off with the break here. So off the break, if you notice the last time LA Thieves played this map, which was the day before against Cloud9, Hydra hit right through the burning hole. So FaZe actually did their homework and they made MC watch that, and I think LA Thieves knew that Atlanta FaZe did their homework, so he didn't go through there this time. Instead, Ghosty sits there and watches it, thinking somebody's gonna push through because they saw Hydra do it, so they're thinking they're gonna do it. And it was just a nice game of chess to open the game. You can only catch it if you actually go and watch the game slowly. So Ghosty's watching the burning hole. MC's watching the burning hole because he thinks Hydra's going to go through there again like he did against Cloud9, but Hydra's actually going through mid. And Ghosty's watching it because Hydra's not going there, thinking that Atlanta FaZe is going to see Hydra didn't go through it and they're going to try to go through it and pinch like, oh shit, a gap got left open. But not the case at all. Hydra's on the hill. He looks this way. Ghosty ends up peeking, gets MC, and I think Simp probably could have chowed here. He kind of just sat in the closet and didn't move right here. He should have been active like the second all these trades were going down, especially after number 7 shot. He should have flew right in, but he just stayed there the whole time while all of his teammates were dying, and then he died. And the spawns immediately flipped. And then right off the spawn, Draza did a great job playing his life over on Burger's side here. So he plays his life here. And he plays his life very well. I don't even have it in half speed. It just like went right back to fucking 1. Okay, that's cool. So Abizi gets a big call on Hydra, or I mean on Envoy, but pay attention to number 1 on your screen, Draza. So he goes Burger side. He gets some shots in here, but he's playing his life. It's very important he doesn't die. If he gets set back to the back of P4 again, it's probably going to ruin the whole P2 rotation for FaZe, so his job is very important over there. He has a 1v1 with his arch nemesis Scrap right here, and he wins this very big. Scrap shoots at him. He goes away like he's not going to come back, and then he ends up throwing a shoulder coming back. Outguns Scrap, and then they slide in on the hill, and Atlanta FaZe get another 4 dead. So it's just like 4 dead after 4 dead. This was just a slay heavy map, and immediately they push through. Stimp going for a hard chase on Envoy, chases him down, Draza tags him, and then as Draza's shooting him, he dies from Scrap who spawned up. Simp gets this kill, and now they got full rotation. But even though they had full rotation, LA Thieves put so much pressure on that it took them about halfway through this P2 in order to get the time. And I also want to point this out real quick, and then I'll probably switch it to fast motion for a bit before we go back to slow. We're going to be going back and forth from slow to fast. So right here, I talked about this yesterday in the Vault hardpoint analysis, if you watched it, that a problem FaZe has, they've had it in so many other games, is they always go for scrap time, no matter how many seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And they need to realize the bigger picture, because you're going to see later on the second P2 how LA Thieves spawns in the back and they completely ignore scrap time. They focus on the bigger picture. And here, Sim should have been focused on just locking down Burger Street. Burger Street's very important on P2 rotation. Super important. And so if they push up Burger Street, but everyone's over here, you're going to continue to spawn on the hill. But it's important when they're not there, because then you're going to keep spawning in the back no matter how far they're pushed up here. So Burger Street is very important. Simp opts to go for the guy on P1 and completely give up the street, and allows Envoy to sneak by, and he gets horrible timing because of it. So I guess I'll rewind it a bit. So off the street, he should have just played back. There's 10 seconds left on P1. We do not need to be going back to P1 at all. Like, focus on P2. P2's a money hill. The game just started. It's 11-20. You could get a big chunk of P2 and probably go up 40. But instead, he's looking at P1. Doesn't even end up... I'm not sure if gets the kill. He just stares at P1 and goes back. And meanwhile, Draza gets his big kill in the back. And Envoy sneaks by Simp. He doesn't even realize it. And Envoy's able to just go in the back. And sometimes you have to know who you're playing. Envoy is a master of flanking every time. Hydra's a master of flanking every time. And so Envoy gets this kill, but Atlanta FaZe actually do a good job of holding regardless. So as all this is going on, Simp in the back again gets his big kill on Envoy in the back. But all of Atlanta FaZe spawns out because LA Thieves have major pressure. I think Draza. What spawn does Draza get again? I think Draza gets the far spawn too. Or not Draza, a BZ. So they pushed up, but Simp actually did a good job playing his life, going for another kill, because as he gets that kill, and this kill was so big, and this whole map was just a flood of big kills, big gunfights. This is why it's so much more enjoyable watching the top teams play each other, because there's so many big gunfights at the side games going on. These were the small things at the beginning of the game that actually paid to the end when you saw how close the game was. So Simp gets this kill in the back. Pay attention to number 4. MC had so many big kills this game. Him, Simp, every single person on the team had big kills, but MC had so much big kills at the end, but we'll get to those. So Simp does a good job getting that first kill. Meanwhile, MC gets the guy off the hill, and then he gets this guy as well that Simp just died to. And that makes Atlanta FaZe spawn in the back. And I also want to point out Hydra. So now that I pointed out all those things, this is why I'm playing in slow motion, because there's so many things going on that you won't be able to recognize it unless you're either really hard paying attention or you go back watching slow motion. So we talked about Simp. We talked about Celium. Also Hydra. So Hydra usually does a good job at reading the pressure of how far to push up. If his teammates die, he always does a good job at going back. But in this case, he kind of blacked out. So his team is dying in the back. Ideally, it would be a lot better to turn around. You got 2 guys that just died here. Go back and help this guy, trade this guy out. And even if he gets the kill, go back just to get the spawns. Now Hydra's pushing way too far forward. 2 of his teammates died. He's blocking out. He's still going. And he goes to get the kill on MC, but now he's too far up, and they have nobody in the back. And since there's nobody in the back, it spawns the other team closer, because it gives teams close spawns to hills. If you have nobody hard blocking the back, in this game, Black Ops 6, you have to hard block the back, or the other team's just going to get the spawns. Every single time without fail. You play a hard point in pubs, you got no one in the back, the other team will spawn there. Always hard block the back. So because of that, Atlanta FaZe was able to get the rest of this time, as we're just going to play this through. I didn't like how Simp held that, but it didn't matter because he spawns on the hill anyway. Abizi actually did a good job backing up. Draza gets that kill, and Abizi is just playing his life in there. So this is just good teamwork out of Draza and MC. And you notice how their teamwork got so much better this map when their backs were against the wall, which is a good sign of things to come in the future for Atlanta FaZe. Because this was the adversity that we're talking about. You get thrashed first map, you lose the S&D, you fight back on control after losing the control off, after losing your first control defense on the very first round, after you just got thrashed the first 2 maps. I mean, granted, like, they did choke the other map, but very demoralizing. So FaZe gets those kills and they're immediately off. So I'm sorry. So FaZe gets that wave of kills, and now there's only 18 seconds left. Now it doesn't really matter if they're spawning in the back. Now it's time to prioritize the P3, P4 spawns, because on this map, P3, P4, if you play it well enough, you could chain them, but the big money hill is P4 and holding the back spawns. So immediately they're going for it. And I love how on this rotation, Draza was gathering info, watching the whole cross, seeing who's crossing by going up top 18. This is very good out of Draza. And as this is going on, Abizi's pushing up, but he's actually just staying around this area because they're trying to catch LA these players rotating on the P4. They already know people probably got by street, but they know there's going to be people coming through mid because they spawn Burger. They do a good job double teaming Hydra back here, and now they start making their way towards the back. And this is just great teamwork out of Atlanta FaZe. So now they know. So now number 3 knows his teammates are pushing the back. So now everyone that dies is going to spawn over there because now they're too far pushed up and it's P3 popped. So it's going to keep spawning them burgers. So Draza and Abizi work the back. They flip spawns. They get good trades. And now it doesn't even matter what Sim does. He's just causing chaos. Contesting the hill. And now Atlanta FaZe have the back spawns for this hill. Big kill out of MC. And now I guess we'll let this play through for a bit in fast motion because nothing really crazy goes on for a while. But Atlanta FaZe do a good job holding these spawns. I'm not sure if they flip or not after. I don't think they do. Like Simp right here, all of his teammates go down except for one, so he doesn't push. He waits for people to spawn up first, and now everyone spawns up, and now he goes in the hill. He's just keeping pressure on the hill. And FaZe is a team that doesn't like anybody having time on the hill at all. Like they hate people having time on the hill. And they do a good job pushing up, but still maintaining P4 spawns this whole time. Like they don't do anything too crazy. And number 3 realizes this time there's 10 seconds left. Okay, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to secure spawns. Draza there. I was kind of thinking Draza here. I mean, this is like a hindsight 2020, but he sees all of them. Bro, you saw all of them cross. Just lay down and hard aim. They're all going to come through the hole. They're not going to take their time. Just hard aim this, because if he gets kills again, then they're going to keep spawning back there. And you have so much time for them to come all the way down the map again. You relieve a lot of pressure, but him pushing up doesn't really matter because it spawns him back again. But he could have kept pressure off the hill, to be honest, because they had all the holds, so they would have kept spawning back there. But him doing that allows LA Thieves to push up and break. So this all came down to Draza. I've talked about this in multiple videos. The importance of not dying on rotation. Dying on rotation is no fuego. If you die on rotation, puts your teammate in a bad spot because there's many games of TDM inside hardpoint where having lives, and LA Thieves understands that perfectly. So LA Thieves gets that kill on Draza, and look, they're just flooding. They run through, they fucking get a BZ, and I think they get MC here too. Now they know they have numbers going into P4. They know all of Atlanta FaZe is going to spawn back here, so that gives them enough time to take space on the map, spawn kill again, and then just flood the hill because they'll have numbers. So they get all those kills. So that's why it's very important for Draza to stay alive in mid and not get too aggro. He just dies there like a bot, and they just flood in, and LA Thieves flood in. And I want to explain these split spawns just in case for people who will not understand it. So the reason why number 1 spawns out is they have so much pressure on here, and they're on the hill now. But not being on the hill doesn't have anything to do with it. They have so many people pushed up on the street. This is why I wish I was like a Treyarch dev, because the spawn system, there's like certain sections, certain areas, how far you push up dictates where people spawn, and they're pushed up just far enough to spawn number 1 out. And then I'm going to explain the spawn that LA Thieves get. So LA Thieves get this spawn, and the reason they get this spawn is because it's on a new hill and Atlanta FaZe is blocking the back. And if Atlanta FaZe is blocking the back and this guy just spawned here because these guys are pushed up, the only logical place is to spawn him deep in the back. This is the furthest spawn you'll ever get. And it's not something a team could coordinate because it involves the other team to help blocking as well. But yeah, he spawns over here because they're blocking the back. He spawns here because they're pushed up far enough. He literally has a line of sight. Like there is like when you're back here, they will spawn in front of you on P3, but he's too far pushed up for them to spawn in the back. So pretty logical spawn. And I'm surprised Jazza didn't read it. I mean, maybe that's hindsight 2020, but you know your teammates are in the back, so they can't be back there. They just got a guy off the street. So after he gets this kill on Scrap, I mean, I would have thought he would have turned around, to be honest, because there's no other place that it could come from if all your teammates are in the back, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. That's just me. Just me talking about it. But then FaZe gets this big time. This is big time. Chris gets big kills in here. He actually gets a 2-piece over here. So pay attention to number 8. Gets a big 2-piece on Envoy and Ghosty. Simp had so many big gunfight wins this map. Like, it was absurd. He more than made up for his map number 1. And Atlanta FaZe do a good job of holding this P4 going into P5. And P5 is very mixy, but I guess we'll break it down anyway. So These actually do a very good job of holding this P5. Wait, am I playing this in fast motion? Okay, it's on number 1. So Ghosty gets a big kill here, and this was a slight communication from MC and Sim. So I'm actually gonna play this in half speed. I don't understand because both of them go into P5 in the same direction, which means there's only one side where Envoy could be, and I don't know why either Sim didn't see MC going in this way or MC didn't see Sim going in this way, and one of them go the other way, so you actually find where the guys. So take a look at how they do this. Stellium and Sim both go in the exact same way. They probably think the guy's in middle, but I think some guys should check the right side first. Because if they get on wide of the hill here, they actually get at this time, and they actually are in a very advantageous position. But instead, they both look like dorks, and then they get 2-pieced. And Thieves is able to take control of this, and then Scrap gets that kill, and they have full control of this. That was just a slight miscommunication, or maybe they just weren't checking, or maybe they just thought he was going to be in the middle. But I mean, you have to know you're playing against. You're playing against Envoy, a very ratty player, a player that likes playing in corners. And These has a very good setup here. You can even see Hydra with the patience, just knows Sim's there, the master of timings. So he sees him there, but he hops over the wall. And meanwhile, as that's going on, Scrap's having a gunfight on the other side of the map. And I love the teamwork out of this. They leave this whole side to Hydra, and all the rest of them, you got one guy in the hill watching Cubby, and then the other two, both ARs, Scrap, and actually, I mean, I guess it's Envoy and not fuck Ghosty. But you got 2 guys hard aiming this side. I'm pretty sure he actually picked up MC's AR, actually. So this is a great setup at LA Thieves. They got everything covered. They got like the Cubby L covered. You got 2 guys watching the backside. They're leaving Hydra all up to this side, which, I mean, they just know who their fucking teammate is. They know they can depend on him. So Hydra gets that kill, and even though Scrap dies there, everyone's got to come right through the front. A BZ push and a went in all by himself, all good, but he probably could have waited a bit, honestly, for his fucking team. But meanwhile, while that's going, Ghosty's already on the pinch, and he gets 2. And then they secure all this time. And you got to think, they wouldn't have got this time if Simp and Cell got Envoy off the hill in that very first break when they had the numbers. So that's something that they might go back on. I mean, it's not really something you practice. You just got to check a corner. That's all that is. Yeah, but LA Thieves gets a lot of P5 time, which I think is, I'm not going to say it's unacceptable because it's not like P1. It actually is tucked away on the side, so it actually is a hill you can hold majority time for. It's absolutely nothing like P1. With P1, there's so many different entrances here. So now immediately again off spawn. So Scrap going to secure the Burger Street side spawn, so I guess we'll play this in fast motion until some shit happens. So, oh yes, I gotta call this out. So Envoy was on a 6 spree in the hill with everything he was doing on P5. He was on a 6 spree. Even the commentators called it out. He was one off a Hellstorm. I think he should have played a bit for this Hellstorm. You're up. Like, the game's pretty much tied. They're a very confident team. You could leave your team alone for a bit while FaZe gets time, because you don't know how big this Hellstorm could be later in the game on like a P3 or P4. If you ever lose P4, you could break. If they're on P5, you could use it to break. This would have been a big Hellstorm if Envoy got it, and he should have played for it. He kind of was playing for it, but I would have just like took an extra route. Like, they kind of already know like they're gonna spawn there. If he just like goes around the back, even though it's not ideal, because like you're basically giving them P2 spawns, but you already have people back there anchoring it, so they probably just spawn further. Probably could have just like played his life a lot more, honestly. Played a bit slower. He loses the opportunity to get that Hellstorm, which would have been big. Meanwhile, Scrap's fucking two-piecing up there. Wait, do I actually want to call that out? Okay. Yeah, I forgot. I actually did want to call that out, I think. A Beezy on the side. No, never mind. Never mind. That's not the instance. Okay, yeah. So that all came down to Envoy and a streak. LA Thieves have control of P2 spawns, and they're holding P1. And they're just frying them. And this is great coordination. Even the commentators were talking about it. I should actually play what the commentators said in this. It was actually Miles. Miles had a very good comm here, like you could probably hear.
They know the spawns as well. I mean, this is suffocating. This is a good run.
Every single time you think you're in a 1v1, no, you're in a 1v4. The entirety of the Thieves, it feels like there truly are 100 of them.
So I thought that was a great play-by-play call, because look, they're always using teamwork. They're always helping each other out. You notice 3 guys, all 3 of them, all staring at the street, which is how they're able to catch a BZ going across, guys shooting at him, Scraps going on the pinch. Meanwhile, I also want to call this out as well, because this is also so noted. So Ghosty actually pushes up a bit too much here. Ghosty probably should have just been back here, held it back. He pushed up way too much. And the reason why number 4 gets that spawn is because he's pushed up in burgers, so they're basically contesting. They're basically contesting the ability to block off this spawn for the team. And since Ghosty's pushed up too much, it's not going to spawn him deep back, even though that could kind of be like a logical spawn. But the way the spawns are in Black Ops 6, I mean, just the way it is. So the fact that Ghosty's pushed up too much, pushing up in that building, pushing up in radio, was not the good play here. They had a pretty good setup. He could have stayed around the hill, and it would have had all Atlanta FaZe spawning here, having to find a way to break. But him pushing up and a BZ being up there was just like the perfect timing for number 4 to get that spawn. And number 4, talking about MC off this as well. MC off the spawn, he got blessed the spawn. He got blessed a P2 spawn. Wrap around the back, homie. Go get Scrap. Scrap just killed your teammate. He obviously called that out. You know he's back there. Instead of going on to P1, I don't know why. Think of the bigger picture. I know you're down, but you're not down by a lot. Securing P2 rotations would get you right back in the game. Even if, for example, let's say they were to get all 30. But if you get Scrap off, all of a sudden you got 2 guys. Oh shit, I got to turn around. Atlanta FaZe is pushing up. You collapse. Probably get him on P1, you get P2 spawns. But instead of him off spawn going around, he chooses to go this way, which he actually does absolutely nothing with it. He may get that kill, but then, I mean, he's just surrounded at this point. Everyone collapses on him. And he got blessed a P2 spawn, and he just ruined it, which I was banging. I was like, how come he... I was like, man, like, as I was watching this live, and now Atlanta FaZe tries to break this P2, and I really want to commend Atlanta FaZe for this, because they did not get the P2 spawns, but the pressure that they kept on this hill, it's something you're probably never gonna see like ever I'm not going to say ever again, but the chances of you seeing this, like the percentage of you seeing a team not having the proper spawns for this hill and being able to contest it as good as Atlanta FaZe contested it here, you're probably not going to see it that many times. And if anything, you're probably only going to see it from either Atlanta FaZe, LA Thieves, or maybe Optic. But if we're talking about doing it against top team to top team, probably won't see this often. Because even though they don't have the favorable spawns, they keep them off and they keep this game close. They were quite literally fighting for their lives. And this was so commendable, which is why I'm going to play this in slow speed. The amount of pressure that they keep on the back and like the big kills, even though they get these kills and there's and LAT, I'm all over the place. And LAT is going to keep spawning in the back. The pressure that they keep, it's like Nazi zombies. LA Thieves keep spawning in the back. The pressure that they keep. Simp pushing up. Him popping 2 here. Huge. Keeping the pressure off the hill. LA Thieves can't even hold the hill because constant spawners, constant people coming up. Nades coming over the top. Nades coming over the top. Draza nading off spawn. They get right back in there. And then I want to talk about this nade right here from Simp. This is something you're only going to see if you go back and watch it, but you could probably even see it from Envoy's POV. You could even see Simp through the wall, or you could just watch him on here, whatever you prefer. You could watch both. You could rewind this and watch both. So Simp throws a nade over the building onto P2. So for those of you who don't know that nade, you just learned something new. Simp throws a nade over here. Even when they're not there, they're still keeping pressure on this hill. Like, they're on the hill and they don't have the spawns. It was so beautiful to watch. Like, this felt like old school FaZe. Old school FaZe, even when things aren't going your way, you make it work your way. So Simp throws that nade over. You can see his character jumping. MC's throwing nades over as well. I mean, this was a beautiful out of Latin FaZe. Like, they don't even have the spawns, but look at them always in the hill. I kind of want to play this over again in fast mode, so just so you can see the pressure. And I'll even play with the comms as well, so you guys could see this, because it just felt and sounded like chaos.
Envoy gets you the back spawns as well. Envoy is basically like the controller of the map for his team. Trying to set you up, but Atlanta FaZe, maybe there's their hot hand. Win 2 big gunfights to get Thieves out of the time. That does not last for too long.
Oh, look at this movement from Hydra. Trapping FaZe into the smallest of boxes, not letting them move. How did he win that first fight? The teammates are there to try to pick up the second bit.
Like, just when he thinks he has it, boom, gets naded over the top. Nades.
An explosive hard point coming to a close in 20 seconds.
And Atlanta FaZe, I mean, they're fighting through the front right now. Scrap, very patient over towards the back.
Look at all this pressure, bro. Like, LADs can't hold shit, bro. This was old school FaZe right here. This was classic FaZe. That was just beautiful out of Atlanta FaZe. That was so great to watch. I just, like, dude, LATs couldn't touch that hill, and they had the back spawns. They were constantly getting naded over the top. Guys kept coming through. It was just so perfect. And then I also want to talk about this as well, because this was a good play out of Envoy. This is why I'm playing it in half speed, by the way, because there's so many things happening at once. I mean, this is crazy. So Envoy gets this kill. Simp knows he's there. This is kind of hindsight 2020, but I think Simp should chase him, because if Simp chases him through L and 2's already coming off spawn, because they're actually calling it out. So both 2 and 3 are going to be looking. Both Simp and Abizi are going to be looking for Envoy. And this is why Simp should chase them, because at least you know if he goes through L, I mean, you got him, and Abizi has the backside, and you could collapse on him. But take a look at Envoy. He goes right through. They're kind of looking for him. Abizi hops over the wall, so he misses him. Envoy makes the play here. He runs right through in between both of them, slides on the hill, gets MC, and draws his left all alone by himself. Envoy just pulled both their pants down. They're all of a sudden like, wait, what? He's over there now? Holy cow. All of a sudden, LAT's flip spawns. before Simp and Abizi even have a chance to go back, they're getting shot off crosses and everything, and it's just not looking good for them. Envoy goes right in and trades them, and LA Thieves get the spawns for P4. Great route from Envoy. Absolute route taker. Like, just taking routes all the time is honestly what Envoy does. And now LA Thieves get this spawn, and I immediately thought it was over. I was like, how is Atlanta FaZe going to bounce back from this? Because they just lost the P4 spawns. I don't see LA Thieves giving it up. I thought it was over from here because I'm like, fuck, LA Thieves is going to hold this. But take a look at Atlanta FaZe. When they just lost the spawns, take a look at how they work this shit, because this is very commendable out of them. So granted, Scrap kills himself, but that's another thing entirely. They need Ghosty off, and now I want to wait. What am I gonna talk about? Okay, actually, I guess so. I guess that was a different one. So they actually end up going through. Simp gets a big 2 in the back, and this just keeps the pressure off. LA Thieves actually do get him, but that doesn't really matter. But it's all about Abizi right here. Take a look at the route Abizi takes right here. So Hydra gets distracted because he's literally shooting at 2 guys, but he does notice Abizi go by. So he sees Abizi go by, but he's already around the corner. He calms it out. As you can see, he calms it out, and you're gonna see Scrap. All of a sudden, Scrap's like, "Oh shit, wait, what?" So Scrap goes to look for him. Abizi gets that kill, big kill from Abizi on the rotation, and now Atlanta FaZe starts flooding the back, and they're able to actually break through this, because even though so Abizi and Simp die here, that's why I played in slow motion. Meanwhile, MC gets a big kill back there, and Hazi gets this kill, Draza gets this kill, and now they are just collapsing on the hill now. MC with a big 2, Draza hops in, MC with a big 3, gets the trade, and now Hydra gets a spawn back there, but he's all by himself, and they stop the bleeding. Atlanta FaZe stopped the breathing. They keep themselves in the game. This was resilience, because if LA Thieves gets this time, okay, so let's rewind this. If LA Thieves gets this time, so let's say they get this time, 41 seconds, even if they get let's say 35, they go up to 205 to 147. It's probably done at that point. It's probably done for Atlanta FaZe at that point. But this was big resilience to break. All started with that Abizi route right through the middle. I mean, this was a level of grit and adversity that Atlanta FaZe faced. Granted, it was an online qualifier. Maybe if it was on land, they probably would have broke. Who knows? But the resiliency was there. So they stopped the bleeding. Because if LA's got that time, it was pretty much over. So that was kind of okay, shit, fuck, okay. And then MC with another big 2, because they're breaking the scrap time, because LA Thieves realizes if we break this time, that's 15 seconds. That's good. That puts us up 205. That puts us up 205 to 160. That's a pretty big lead. And going into a P5 and a P1, which are pretty mixy, we could probably win off of that. So MC gets a big 2 on old. If he loses this, Atlanta FaZe probably lose the game as well. So another big gunfight win out of MC. So that was big from him. And we might go into the Atlanta FaZe listen in as I also break things down. We'll see. But Hydra's being a rat over there, and he gets a fucking spawn kill, but it doesn't matter. But I guess we'll go into the Atlanta FaZe listen in, and if I see stuff, I'll comment. But Atlanta FaZe didn't have any luck for half of this, and then you'll see how they're able to bring it back. They had multiple tries at trying to break, and it just didn't work. But they didn't give up, even though it sounded like they actually did. Leia BZ's so pissed, bro. All right, so now I want to talk about this because this was a big break from Atlanta FaZe. So I guess I'm actually just gonna like stop this and play it in half speed. I mean, everyone's already watched this game anyway, so you know, if you're listening again. Simp gets a big kill on number 8. He knows there's gonna be a person around here ratting. This is just a game IQ. This is playing the game all day. Just knowing that Ghostie's going to be in this corner, like he's fucking waiting. He's waiting. And then he goes and chows that. And then here's where I feel this one's also hindsight as well, but Hydra pushes up too much and it leaves a gap open because you see number 7 and number 5, they don't have the backside covered. And I kind of feel this is also on Scrap as well, more than it is on Hydra. Scrap should realize there's a guy here, just like Hydra was last time. You saw in the last P5, Hydra was over here, and there's a guy in this, like basically this spot in the hill watching the cubby, and then they had 2 guys watching this side. But this time, it's almost the same thing. 8 has this whole side covered. This is his job. So Scrap does not need to be looking this way, which, by the way, Scrap had a horrible map, by the way. I have to point that out. This map was not his, bro. He lost a lot of gunfights, but this side's already covered, so Scrap shouldn't even be looking at this. Like, in retrospect, he should not even be looking at this, but at the same time, could Hydra have maybe played a tighter setup there? They're up 213. You know Atlanta FaZe likes to push old all the time. They cannot let anyone get any time, and they're down, so they have to push. So maybe that's something I feel like these players should already know about Atlanta FaZe. Like, they will always push for time. So maybe playing a little bit of a tighter setup, Hydra, maybe getting a bit closer, playing a corner here. But Scrap should have been watching this anyway, but maybe he wouldn't have even got the 2-piece anyway. But he should have been watching it. But Draza makes a good play here. So they left the gap open. So Simp gets that kill. Abizi gets this kill. The only other place that the guy could come is Cubby. And while Abizi's in the hill, Draza knows where the last guy has to be coming from because all this is going down. You got this kill. He's literally getting a 2-piece on the hill. The last guy has to be coming from this side. So Draza watching his teammates back. Great teamwork. Catches Hydra. And they're able to get 4 down, which is huge. They're constantly fucking fighting from behind, just getting back in the game. It was so insane. And then right off spawn, if you watch this game live, bro, this shit was crazy seeing this. So they get that 4 down. Abizi gets that big kill. He's like, dead. And then Draws like, I have a guy over here, P3, dead. And it's just like momentum. You start to feel the momentum switching because now it's like, oh shit, we could actually win this. We just got 4 down. We got them off P5. How are we going to close this out? So now we're going to the final stretch of this. So we're just going to let this play through a bit. So Simp actually gets horrible timing over here. He was looking at that. Envoy makes it by. And they actually end up going 4 down here. And you wonder how they're going to be able to battle back here. Because they go, I mean, they basically go 4 down here. And now LA Thieves has control of the spawns. They're down 216 to 195. How are they going to battle back? And they were just able to. And this was the big decider of this whole game, was Scrap on the street right here. If Scrap stays alive and does not die here, LA Thieves win this, because Scrap dying on the street, I mean, I could fault him, maybe not. Maybe he just threw some shoulders, but he died pretty quick. He was getting shot at by both MC and Simp, so he's getting shot by 2 people. But he gets evaporated on the street, and that's what allows Atlanta FaZe to collapse and actually end up flipping spawns in the end. And meanwhile, Abiz is getting a huge kill onto Hydra as well. This is why I'm playing in slow motion. So they get the kill on Scrap. Hydra gets a big kill on the street. All these were big kills. Like, if Abiz doesn't get this kill either, Hydra collapses and they hold the time, and Atlanta FaZe is fucked. So many big gunfights going down. It's insane. So many. So that was a big gunfight from Abizi that the camera wasn't showing because it was showing this shit. And just so many big gunfights wins. And now they have control of P1, and now they know they got to already start focusing on P2. So Abizi's already pushing up to get the spawners. He gets this guy, slides back. Actually, no, he actually doesn't get that guy. He actually runs away. Actually, fuck, holy shit. There's so much shit going on. My bad. But he does a good job playing his life here. So he finesses this. Ghosty probably could have left that, but I mean, it probably would have tied the game anyway. But his team was in the hill, so I mean, he probably could have played his life a bit. And meanwhile, while this is going down, MC also gets like a pretty big kill right here. So Scrap gets the kill on Draza. Abizi is finessing his life. And then if you want to also try to pay attention to number 1 or to number 4 as you're paying attention to Abizi as well, MC gets a big kill on Scrap in the cubby. Abizi gets this one. And then Abizi tries to go for old because, I mean, like, he's trying to get them off the time. They're pretty close to the fucking win. So kind of have to get them off the time. Don't blame him for that. But now the race for P2 is on, but they have to get them off the time. They finally get them off the time. Now they know they can't win, so now they can prioritize that. MC comes back to help right here because he knows they're all spawning on the street. I'm kind of thinking maybe in the number 8 and number 5 probably could have just started rapping, or at least one of them start prioritizing new, thinking about the bigger picture. And that's so funny, is that last P2 was going down, I completely missed like that fucking thing I was actually like about to point out. I'll actually point out at the end. So MC gets those big kills there, and then it doesn't even matter that he dies because they end up getting the back spawns. I'm pretty sure he had to have known the timing of the kills that they got, that LA Thieves would already be spawned up in the street, so it would be spawning them on this side. He had to have been aware of that. But big kills out of them, and now they're focused on the P2 hold. And this is where they're able to come back and win this. They're down 210 to 232. They know at this point it all comes down to P2. If they do not hold P2 the whole time, they're going to lose. If it goes to P3, it's over. So they're putting all their chips into P2. And it starts with a big gunfight in the back, which I saw live. And I was like, no, he lost that. No, they lost the game. And there's Simp again going for scrap time. I don't know why. But then Hydra gets the kill on that. I don't know why Simp was going for scrap time because he spawns out. Like, that's the second time in the same game going for scrap time on P1. But MC gets his big kill in the back. And MC had so many big kills at the end. This shit was insane. This is a 42-minute video. Holy fuck, bro. This map was a movie. I'm telling you. This map was a movie. So MC gets his big kill. Like, Hydra could have played this anyway, but he chose to play it the way that he played it. Like, if he played his life in the back and made MC tweak. If Hydra played his life actually and allowed his teammates to push up, that could have been over for them as well, because he would have been tweaking, but Hydra was just sprinting. He probably could have played his life back here a bit, actually took his time. Like, all the cards are in their favor. You're in the back spawn. You're up 237 to 210. You could take your time on the back, but Hydra got a little bit antsy there. But a big kill from MC. And then it's all up to MC. MC knows how important his life is back here. And he's able to get the kill onto number... Actually, no, he doesn't get that kill. Actually, Draza gets that kill. I want to talk about Abizi as well, because Abizi actually takes like a crazy route here. So Abizi gets the guy off the hill, and Abizi runs through. Meanwhile, Draza is getting that kill. He runs through, goes around, jukes out Envoy, gets that kill, and now Atlanta FaZe have the back spawns. And now this is where it gets crazy, because like Atlanta FaZe know they have to deal with 2 waves of kills here. Like, Abizi dies there, but they kind of have like the back spawns locked down, so Abizi's gonna spawn in the back. Number 1 trying to keep pressure off the hill. Number 6 going around to try to flip spawns, trying to put a dagger on this game. So Draza gets a bit. Actually, no, Draza doesn't get that 2-piece. He actually gets the next one. But how's Atlanta FaZe going to deal with this? Because now they have a 4v3 they're getting collapsed on. Hydra going around the back. We're going to see how this plays out. These were big kills from MC. So MC gets a 2-piece actually. So if we're paying attention to MC, MC gets a big 2. He gets number 7. Hydra gets tagged up in the back. He knee slides to the side. He gets number 8 as well. Outguns him. Abizi chasing Hydra from the back. Gets him. They 4v3 with Hydra getting that 2 big kills. So that was big. I mean, so many big things happen there. So now if we just play it again. So MC gets Envoy, and I think Simp actually gets one. So I think Simp gets number 5. So Simp gets number 5. MC gets the 2-piece. Abizi goes around, chases Hydra, gets that. And now John's like, oh shit, fuck, good shit, good. Like, damn, okay, we're back in this. So now they know LA Thieves coming again. I'm like, play a corner, Draza. Play a fucking corner. Play a corner. He gets this kill, another big kill. Scrap nades over on Abizi. Amelie number 3 goes back in the hill because they know they need this time. 18 seconds left. They literally need the rest of this time. If it goes to P3, they're fucked. 18 seconds. They need 17 out of 18 of these seconds. So they always have to be in the hill. So while that's going down, Draza sets, or I mean, that's not even Draza. Holy fuck, I'm all over the place. MC again in the corner with another big 2-piece again. MC, and then he slides. He just knows. Fucking pops Ghosty for the 3, and that was the dagger right there. Holy shit, so much shit going on. And now Atlanta FaZe know they dealt with the last wave. All they have to do is just push up and keep them away from the hill. And that's what they're doing. They're pushing through mid. They know LA Thieves has to fly on the hill. Draza watching the one side. And they just get them. And this is over. And Atlanta FaZe wins this map. And it was so... this was just a crazy fucking... No, I gotta stop swearing. I'm gonna get demonetized. This was a crazy game, bro. This was a crazy game. Hydra smiling, laughing. It's so funny. Like, look at the smirk Hydra had on his face. He was like, okay. He's like, okay, yeah, you guys won that. But what a big win out of Atlanta FaZe. I think Atlanta FaZe should be really proud of that because there's been talks about them not being able to deal with adversity. That whole map right there, after the way the other maps went, that was adversity. Battling back on the control, that control is a very gritty control. And battling back on this map, even when you lost the spawns on P4 multiple times, being able to gain it back, breaking hills when you had to, all the big gunfight wins that they got. This was just so tippable out of Atlanta FaZe. But that was Atlanta FaZe versus LA Thieves, the best rewind hardpoint, the best hardpoint of the weekend so far this season. Only something on LAN is probably going to top that. The amount of back and forth in that game, the big gunfight wins that the scoreboard will never show. I hope you guys enjoyed that video because holy fuck. Now, if you want to actually have the energy to go back and watch that again in fast motion, I mean, bless you if you want to, but this was such a close game. Like, that MC3 piece was so huge. So huge. MC pops the 2, gets the 3, that was big.
Atlanta FaZe can still win it here, and Cellium wants it.
Oh boy, can he get it done? No, he can't get close enough. The game is going to keep going. No one's close. No nades. No nothing. Game 5. Atlanta FaZe.
That was a big win.
Blackout 6, baby.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you learned something about this game. You'll never see an in-depth breakdown anywhere else on YouTube. So if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe. This has been Borito. We'll see you next time.